of the Data Roundtable. Sorry about that. I had to miss yesterday, and whenever I miss a streaming day, my days get all screwed up. So sorry about that. It is indeed Wednesday today, hump day. We made it to the middle of the week, so hope that you're doing well. Let me know that you're out there. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what you're up to. Hopefully, you can think about what you're doing today to move yourself forward, to progress, to do a little better in your life, in your data science studies, in your AI explorations, whatever it is that you're up to in your work as a data professional. Hopefully, you're looking to improve, and that's exactly what the Data Roundtable is about. We come together to talk as data professionals, to say hello, create community, talk, listen, get advice, give advice. All of that is good stuff. All of that is good practice for when you are working in the real world of data science. I like to think of this almost as like a simulated team room that you would have on a data science team, because in a team room, when I was leading teams, I would love to just encourage people talking out loud and just saying, hey, look, this is a judgment-free zone. We're all professionals. Let's just talk. And people put things out there and, oh, I didn't see it that way. Why do you see it that way? Okay, well, have you considered this? Because I see it this way. Well, okay. Very valuable to be able to have that, right? Very valuable to be able to quickly assess other people's plans. But it's also very valuable to be able to have the maturity of thought to be able to say, oh, you know what? I thought this, but somebody else made a good point. Maybe I should be thinking about this, right? A good scientist is never too rigid in their thoughts. They have that flexibility of moving things back and forth, right? Casual Economist, such a good friend, says, hey, stranger, long time no see on YouTube. Yeah, I did have to miss a day, Casual Economist. I did have to miss a day, and I think the notification still didn't work for you the day before. I guess it would have been Monday or whatever. But I'm always here on YouTube as much as possible. I always start here and then I go over to Instagram. So I'm here and I'm ready. I'm present for whatever the day may bring. But good to see you. I had to cancel yesterday. I did have a coaching call. Whenever I have coaching calls, my clients have I have different calendars out there. And there's different levels of access to each of those calendars. And my clients have the broadest view into my calendars, and they can basically schedule anytime they want. So yeah, sometimes they schedule when the stream is on. So I have to give them priority. So I did have to do that yesterday, but I'm still here, still streaming as much as possible. I'd like to think that those breaks only happen every once in a while. I still stream about at least 25 days a month, right? It's got to be at least 20, no less than 20 for sure, but it's still got to be 25 days a month. But yeah. Casual Economist says, will you take calls at 2 a.m. for international clients? Casual Economist, I don't do it late, but I do it early. I have taken calls as early as 4 a.m. I believe was my earliest call. But so I will do it in the mornings. At nights, my mind is mush. I'm not a nights guy. I'm a morning guy. So at night, I tend to shut down. I think my clients right now can schedule me up until 8 p.m. at night, I believe. But yeah, I tend to not go late, but I will go early. And usually that covers most international clients, right? If I'm willing to do 4 a.m. to like 8 p.m., that covers a lot of the world, right? It'd be hard to not find somebody, for somebody to not be able to find a time to reach me, during their day, wherever their day may be. So yeah, Casual Economist, thanks. That's a good question. No, not late. I do early. Casual Economist says, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, but I love it, Casual Economist. I love it. I love waking up early. Even when I was a little kid, I've always been an early morning riser. My parents never had to struggle, to get me out of bed for school or things. I was up before they were. But yeah, I've always been a morning guy. Always been a morning guy. So I have no problems taking calls at 4 a.m. The crazy part, Casual Economist, is I don't even drink caffeine. I drink decaf. So I don't even need caffeine to get me going. Because I've heard some people can do mornings, but they need a lot of caffeine. I don't even need that. I could wake up and take the SAT at 4 a.m. if I needed to. Like I'm alert and ready to go when I say I'm a morning person. So yeah, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time in the U.S. is kind of hard to say that somebody in the world can't find a time to meet with me. So I think, yeah, there's really no place where that's a challenge. Maybe for some places it's their night or it's their morning or whatever. But yeah, I start early. Sometimes it also means that I take a nap in the middle of the day. One of the beauties of being self-employed is I can nap whenever I want, right? And sometimes I feel weird about it because maybe like I'll nap like at 11 a.m. But at the same time, I think to myself, well, wait a minute. At 11 a.m., I've been up for like 7 hours, right? So yeah, it feels weird to be napping like before lunch, but I've also been awake since 4, right? So it's a little bit of a different life when you're willing to wake up early. But I like it. It works for me. So yeah. Yeah, but thanks for the question there, Casual Economist. Casual Economist says, I am not a napping person. I didn't used to be a napping person. Can't do them. Okay, so Casual Economist, I'd like to hear why. For me, I didn't like them because when you wake up, you feel groggy. Like I feel like my day is screwed up. Like the timing of my day and like my mental side is not the same. Like I feel groggy. I feel like confused like the rest of the day. Like, is that why? Because that's what I used to, but now I find them so restful. That's also because I'm an old man. I'm probably older than you, right? So, when you get older, you feel naps are better. I don't know, I just can't go to sleep. Okay. Well, for me, I can go to sleep. I just didn't used to like them because how I felt after. Like the rest of the day was, yeah, I feel terrible afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And I used to be that way up until about maybe like 5 years ago, like pre-pandemic. But ever since the pandemic, when we were spending so much time indoors and napping was like the only thing you could do, I guess I just kind of got used to it. But yeah, now I do it. I just feel, like I said, I just feel sometimes a little weird about the time. Like, geez, it's 11 a.m. and I'm going to lay down for a nap. That's weird. That's like loser status, right? But it's not so loser when you've been up for a while, right? But yeah, it is weird being able to nap whenever you want. So one of the many perks of being self-employed, or maybe I should say one of the few perks of being self-employed. I don't know, but yeah, I've definitely gotten used to napping as I'm getting closer to 50. It feels more fun to nap or more restful to nap. Casual Economist says, I can sleep for long periods. See, I can't do that, Casual Economist. For me, 7-8 hours and I'm done. That's it. 7-8 hours and I'm done. So maybe that's the difference, Casual Economist, that you are able to do that. Like for me, when the sun's up, I have to be up. I cannot be asleep if the sun is up. My body just won't let me do that. But yeah, I definitely cannot sleep for 9, 10, 12 hours. I know people who can sleep 12 hours with with no chance, right? 9918 says, holy cow, finally a normal YouTube live. Welcome, 9918. I think it's your first time. Welcome. It's villainous out there, dude. This app is so crazy. Tell us about that. What do you mean? Like you're running into some crazy lies? This is a data roundtable open chat. So 9918, welcome. You're welcome to contribute any topic you want. We're just talking. So let us know how you're doing. Casual Economist says, I did a class on sleeping. Ever since then, I take my sleeping seriously. Oh, okay, cool. Let us know your top 2 or 3 things you learned in that class. I mean, obviously they say it's the best thing you can do, right? Of all the things, taking supplements, smoothies, stretching, they say that sleep is the #1 thing you can do for your body, period. And I totally believe that. But let me know what you learned about casual economists. I mean, I know I have my own little tricks. Like for me, I have to sleep in a dark room. I try to make my room as dark as possible. Not always easy, right? Like when you're traveling or whatever. But I know that they say that when you sleep in rooms that are too well lit, your body knows. Your body knows when it's not getting like enough darkness or whatever. But yeah, let me know if you learned anything interesting or the most interesting things you learned. But yeah, they say it's the best recovery, best thing for your brain and your memory and the clearing out the mental plaque, that causes Alzheimer's and all that stuff. They say it is the best thing for you. So 9918, again, welcome. We usually talk about data topics, but I just go with the flow, whatever the conversation of the day brings up. So feel free to let us know what you're up to, 9918. Casual Economist says, yeah, dark and cold. Yeah, definitely cold, right? What do they say? I think they say the ideal temperature is like 65 and below if you can handle it. I think that's what they say, 65 and below. But yeah. Yeah, 65 in a dark room and you'll be sleeping pretty good. I totally hear you on that, Casual Economist. Yeah, it's important. It's important to get your sleep. It's important to get your protein and all that. But let me know if there's anything else you picked up in that class, Casual Economist. I know that recently I've been working on a little bit more on my magnesium intake because I know magnesium definitely helps me with sleep. Although I gotta say, sometimes if I overdo it with the magnesium, the next morning I do wake up like feeling really slow, really just slow. Casual Economist says try to keep a decent sleeping schedule. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty good about that, Casual Economist. Yeah. I mean, I get up early, which is embarrassing because then when people ask what time you go to sleep, you got to go to sleep early. We're going to wake up at 4, right? You can't be going to sleep at 11 o'clock if you're waking up at 4. So yeah, Casual Economist, I have a very fairly rigid sleeping schedule, and I do go to bed early. I definitely go to bed earlier than the majority of people out there, but I also get up earlier, so I get more done. But yeah, sleeping schedules are definitely important. Definitely important. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of schedules, it looks like I might have another coaching call tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. Friday is also doubtful. Who knows? Who knows? The beauty about having the clients that I have is they can schedule with me at any time. I do offer an unlimited plan, so sometimes my calendar might be free for the next day, and then that afternoon, that evening, I get a booking for the next day. Casual Economist says naps actually help, no caffeine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually have given up coffee as much as possible. I do use decaf like 80% of the time when I drink coffee. But yeah, no caffeine definitely makes a difference for me. Yeah, especially the caffeine in coffee, which I just think is more potent or just more of it. But yeah, and I have been napping more, Casual Economist, so glad to hear that helps. I'm willing to do anything to help, my brain recover and all the mental plaque that they say causes Alzheimer's and dementia. I think everyone kind of knows the helpful stuff. Yeah, you're right, but actually doing it is the trick, right? Not everybody actually does it, right? 1805 says, hey, first time here. I've been following your reels lately, so just want to share my condition and maybe get some advice. Yeah, welcome 1805. Nice to see you. Feel free to join in the conversation. We have an open discussion, so yeah, whatever you'd like to talk about, let me know. Let me know. We have a couple of new people, so don't be shy. Let us know where you're from and what you need help with. Casual Economist says, I just didn't realize how bad not sleeping was. Yeah, they say it's terrible for you, right? They say it's one of the worst things you can do and the best thing you can do for your body. But yeah, there's some people out there who have insane schedules, right? I live in Las Vegas, and out here, there's definitely people who have ridiculous schedules because, they work night shifts. at hotels or casinos. They work nightlife, they work at the clubs, right? So you have people who start their shift at 10 p.m. and they get out at 6 a.m., because they're doing the club thing or whatever, right? Yeah, and sometimes, you come across those people like in social situations or like at a party or whatever. They never look good, right? Like people who work night shift like that, because they don't sleep during the day, right? Or they don't get nearly enough sleep. Or it gets to be like 4 p.m. and they're like, oh no, I go to work at 10, let me go sleep for 3 hours, and like that's all they do, right? Because they've been up. They never look good, right? Like they never look healthy, right? Like even if they're skinny or whatever, like they're never like fully like there, right? Like there's something missing from like the glint in their eye, right? All right, 1805 is done with the casual talk. He wants to get down to business. I don't know if it's, I should say they. Okay, I'm almost done with my master's degree in statistics, and I'm getting very hyped about time series modeling and multivariate time series modeling. But we do a ton of theory and only use R to program. They kind of left me alone in the job market. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 1805, that's going to be a tough position to be in, right? So two things that you mentioned right away that catch my eye: get away from R. You need to have Python in your toolbox. Must. Because obviously I'm assuming that you're looking for a serious job with a large company. You want to be doing deployments, you want to be working on projects. R is not going to get you there. So that's the first thing I would tell you. Second thing I would tell you, it's great that you're getting hyped up about time series. That's awesome. But one, you got to have more than just that in your toolbox. And two, you got to have some sort of specialty in time series. What kind of time series? Right? What type of time series are you looking for? Are you doing financial predictions, engineering predictions, production planning type of predictions, right? You got to have some sort of definition there. But time series is really only one of many potential items that you'll be asked to do in data science, right? Yeah, but I get to pass the exams. Yeah, but I'm not talking about your exams. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about jobs. I'm talking about your career as a data professional, right? So yeah, it's going to require extra work. Yeah, it's going to require you to do more work than what's required for your exams. What's the problem? That's totally standard, right? Use R to do what you need to do to pass the class, to get a grade, get your degree. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing extra work, right? Don't think that just because you graduate and you have a degree that that's what you're going to need in the workforce. That is far from accurate, right? So yeah, I mean, it's going to require extra work. So you're going to have to start picking up Python. Maybe what you want to do is you want to take some of your old assignments, right? Because it sounds like you're pretty far into your program. Take some of your old assignments and, recognize that you did it in R, but now go and repeat them in Python. Same theory, right? Same things that you're looking to prove or concepts you're looking to show, but repeat them in Python. The extra work is not a problem, but why they teach us R if it's going to be useless? Because you're learning from academics. You're learning from people who don't have practical experience in the world, right? Academics are not real world practitioners, so that's what they know. They know R. R is cheap. R comes from the research and in academia world. R fits their individual needs for the type of work that they're doing because their work is very research based. Their models are rarely deployed, and they're certainly rarely deployed in a broad environment, right? So look, you're not alone in this. It's a very, very common problem. My graduate studies were also in R. I didn't do any Python in my graduate studies, but you have to accept it for what it is, right? And you have to be ready to adjust. But that's what you're going to need. You're going to need Python, and you're going to need knowledge beyond time series. I love that you're hyped about it. I think there's a lot of good reasons to be hyped about it. But to be a more well-rounded candidate and have, an easier path during the interviews, you have to be a little bit more of a well-rounded data professional, right? You can't just wait for the right time series position to come along. You have to have an arsenal in your toolbox to be able to say, oh, that problem is a clustering problem. That problem's a neural network problem. That problem's whatever, right? You have to have like that flexibility in your toolbox. If you present yourself as a time series candidate, then they won't see you as having flexibility, right? That'll kind of make you a less attractive candidate. So yeah, 1805, that's what I would tell you. Totally standard situation. You're not the first person to graduate and only have R, right? That's, for better or worse, pretty standard. Zed, my good friend Zed is here. Hi, Dennis. How are you this evening? I'm doing great, Zed. How are you? How are you doing? Thanks for checking in. Nice to see you back. I love it when people come back. Makes me feel like, they're getting value from this. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's my morning, your evening. Beautiful day out. I'm going to do my streaming, and then I'm going to go swimming, get my swimming workout in. I've been swimming a lot, been feeling good about the work that I've been doing in the swimming pool. On Monday, I had an excellent workout on Monday. So yeah. Casual Economist says, do you dislike most master's programs? Not always, Casual Economist. I mean, 1805 mentioned he was in statistics, which I like. Statistics gives you a good grounding for data science and a lot of other things, right? I may not always agree with the way they teach it, right? Like, I hear 1805. A lot of people tell me they just learned R. I did the same. One of my electives in my program was taking a SAS course, and I totally regret that. I haven't used SAS like in ages. So, they're just not great, right? They're not great because it's the PhDs who are the theorists, not practitioners, right? So, I mean, I don't want to discourage anyone from getting the degree, go for it, but I'm not enthused about what you're going to learn and who's going to teach it, right? Casual Economist, you make me feel guilty now. You make me feel like I always poo-poo everything. And I know that I do poo-poo a lot of things, but I'm trying to not have people say like, oh, that Dennis guy, he's so negative, right? So now you're making me feel bad. But yeah, it's just, I do think that the data science education system is broken, right? People just don't come out of there prepared. They don't come prepared for the real world. So that's what I think about it. That's what I think about it. But yeah, hopefully people aren't going to be saying, oh, there's that Dennis guy ranting again. Oh. So thanks for enabling me there, Casual Economist. Jeez. But yeah, 1805, I hope that helps you. Zed, feel free to, chat about whatever you'd like. Let us know how you're doing. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm trying to remember. I think you're in Asia somewhere. Casual Economist says, my bad. I'm trying to not have people have such a... I like to spread positivity, right? So I hope that people aren't thinking like, oh, this Dennis guy, all he does is talk negative. But, sometimes I have to balance between giving you guys real advice and sometimes some tough love versus telling you, yeah, that makes sense, right? So yeah, just trying to keep that balance, guys. It's not always easy. Not always easy. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm going to switch over to Instagram. Feel free to follow me over there. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I will see you again tomorrow.